a favor to him today because he one of the best sim racing drivers we have in our Factor 2.
Yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see if some of the late joiners can really make a splash. With Kapama not here, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. If he's not here today, going to be a lot of opportunities for other people to mess with the championship. A lot going on here in Korea. We're just getting into people getting their first laps qualifying in. I'll be honest, I've had R Factor 2 for a while, but I don't think I've ever done the Korea International Circuit mod before. Have you ever driven this track?
I never driven this track before, but as a big motorsport fan, I watch a lot of races in Korea, you know. So I know how is this type of track, and for this type of car, Kristen, I can tell you that it will be a very fun race, especially because this car does not have so much dirty air, and this track have a big straight line speed that probably that is in the first sector after the two corners in this track. So this is probably the overtaking place because it's very big. After that, have a corner to the right that have another big straight line. So basically, this track have about 3 straight lines that is possible to have an overtake. Have some sectors, especially the sector 2 and 3 in this track, is a bit difficult to make some moves like Dubai. But different than Dubai, this track I see have more overtaking points, so probably will not be a type of race that will be so difficult to the drivers can make a move like was in Dubai as we see weeks before.
Yeah, and it's funny because even though it's hard to pass at Dubai, we saw a lot of wheel-to-wheel action here. So if this is going to be better for racing than Dubai, then my expectations are through the roof. We see.
Yeah, and by the way, talk about the quality. We see Tom Stevens make the pole position. Maybe Tom is a track that Tom probably knows more. So he finally could show his real pace, and Alessandro in second, as you can see. So for now, the top 10 basically is Stevens, Alessandro, Magaldi, Gil, Felix, Vagapov, and by the way, we talked Vagapov, but Max Rachel makes it now the 6th place. So very near the quality, especially from the top 5 at the moment.
Yeah. Going to be very close, I imagine. This battle between Alessandro, Stevens, Magaugi. Watch out for Gielhold. There's quite a lot of fast people here. 10 minutes is a lot of time to get it done at this track. Well, I say that. A lap's almost 2 minutes here, so actually not a lot of opportunities when you consider you might need to do your warm-up lap. You get your fast lap in, you ditch, put on a fresh set of boots, go out again. Only really 2 opportunities to get it done if you do it that way. As we see, Alejandro goes purple in the first sector there. Not by much, only 6 thousandths of a second. Some traffic in front of him, though. We'll see how that impacts him through the second sector. As Rodrigo was saying earlier, dirty air not a massive thing on these cars, so you can follow close, but he did lose some time in the second sector behind this traffic. And you can see that car in front. Oh, man, he's right up in the bumper, and that'll definitely ruin his lap. It's a tough thing.
Probably Alessandro is very angry right now because he was making a very good Sector 1, a purple Sector 1, but he lost everything on the Sector 2. And also Dan Hutt in the P4 at the moment. We remember that this guy had a very big battle with Guillaume in the race 2 in Dubai. He was very quick. And Scuderia Fercianera have a very good boy with Dan Hutt that improves a lot during these last years in sim racing. For now, he do not have a chance to improve his lap, but we need to have an eye on him because maybe he can show another good pace in a race again. But yeah. By the way, Stevens start his lap. Let's see how Stevens is doing right now because it looks like he different than Dubai. This track is a track that he's more used and he can show his potential because he's a very good driver. He's one of the best drivers I think have in this league right now.
Some very strong words, we'll say, for Tom Stevens. A very big endorsement. Getting a little bit into the AstroTurf on the outside. He's down a second already on this lap, so he'll probably be looking to get another one in. A bit down the road, have a few people like Isaac Clark and Che Hatch who haven't put in a lap yet. And time is quickly looking to be running out. Josh Downward improving. He's a second off the pace, but it is a green first sector for him. One of the few people improving on the track right now. Rear end of the car just stepping out from him. That's sort of a... go ahead, sorry.
It's a normal thing. We can see the here lose a little bit in these cars. I know by some drivers that since this car do not have so much grip, because it's not like a F1 car, it's a F3 car with no much downforce, no much wing, so they try to make this car be more aggressive on the here and oversteer a bit more to they try to make this mechanical grip works on the car and then they not lose too much time and improves a lot. So you can see that is the normal thing in this type of car and makes the challenge be more bigger. And Downard improves a little bit, as you can see, but no, he don't improve. So improve, but not cat and nug. But we need to remember that Downard could not be a quick guy in the quali, but he's a very smart guy in the race. So he's a guy that we need to take eye on him because probably he'll make a top 10 in the race one using the intelligence that he has.
Yeah, that's something I could definitely relate to, is the struggle to both have race pace and qualifying pace. The approaches to both are so different. But certainly, I suppose, if you're going to be fast in one, it's probably better to be fast in the race. See when McGaugy getting a draft off his teammate, who then gets out of the way at the end of the straight. That's some very effective teamwork there. See if that helps him improve in the first sector. McGaugy just about half a second off of the leader, who is still Tom Stevens, about halfway through qualifying here. And he does improve, still 0.2 off, but he does improve on his own best time. See another car get out of the way. Man, McGaugy getting a lot of help from his competitors. People getting out of the way.
It's about good etiquette by the way. McGaugy probably can improve this lap, and he knows that he have the all the tools in his hand because he's on second in the championship. His rival Capamagian will not race him today. Looks like he not improved too much, but oh my goodness, he picked the AstroTurf, almost lose the hero of the car, but still on the track. Let's see if he can make some magic or not. But he knows that he just needs to have the patience and not try too much, be aggressive today, and he can put a lot of pressure on Capamagian in the next round if he makes good results today. And you can see he does not improve enough, but Alessandro is improving in the sector 2.
Yeah, that's a big margin. I could see the overweight was flashing at me to switch over to him. And man, there he goes to the pole. The 1:57.6. Only 4 minutes left in qualifying. We'll have to see if Clark, Stevens, or McGaugy have time to respond. That is a blistering time. It's close at the front, but that is not something to sniff at. Meanwhile, Isaac Clark in the ground effect sim racing team car. Sounds like he's off the pace right now. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not surprised to see Clark in the P2, but I hope, different from the last round, he can improve the way he starts the car, because I don't know if something related to his setup or the way he makes the start. But he always loses position on the start. He makes a very, very slow start. Maybe his reaction time to the red lights is not at best, but it's a thing that he can improve with some practicing with other things, you know. So I hope he can focus on that and shows a better start he really shows how fast he can be on the race or not.
Yeah, that will be, that's very important to actually utilize. Wow, Sven Gilhold over half a second up in the first sector right now. On Alejandro's time, Gilhold's flying on this lap. As we're on board with him right now. He's got some traffic in front. We'll see if this impacts them as we see that car goes off, so they're out of the way. He doesn't have to worry about them. Have some free air now through the second sector. This long, sweeping left-hander, very technically complex. Now we see into what part, basically the slowest part of the track coming up.
Yeah, well, is what I was thinking. Probably his car is one of the fastest. It's not the fastest car in the straight line, and Sector 1 basically is big straight line speed. Sector 2 is a bit different, so we can see that he lost a bit of time because of that. But let's see how he can improve this lap or not. And before, not bad for him, but we can see the difference of this car in a sector to the other sector, and that's what I believe Gilhold lost a bit of time to have a chance to make a pole position.
Yeah. Well, what will be interesting to see then is how that will work for him in the race, because it's quite hard to pass in the twisty stuff. It's easier to pass in the front straight, so maybe this is a good race setup. Perhaps not the best qualifying setup, but it will be interesting to see if he moves forward in the race.
Well, it'd be difficult. Sorry, just to count. It'd be difficult to know because we need to remember also that is a track that is not easy to especially the sector 2. You can see that have a lot of tricky corners, So if the tire wears more on this part because of the lack of downforce, he can also be a easy fish to the other drivers, to catch him. So even with a lot of speed he can have on the straights. Oh my goodness, you see that power slide by D'Alessandro. My goodness.
Yeah. These cars seem very on edge at the rear, and he lost about 3/10 with that power slide. He was up in the first sector. See if he can recover it all. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these setup choices work out. As we see Alejandro trying to set in. We abandoned, so that's it. He will have to see if anyone else can catch him. Isaac Clarke is on his outlap. We'll see if he lets this traffic build a gap in front of him, or if he's going to try and overtake. Sort of a tactical decision you've got to make in qualifying when you know you're fast, is what do you do with the slower guys in front of you?
My goodness, can Clarke start the lap or not? 5 seconds.
Yeah,
be on the edge.
Whew, he just makes it, I think. Has he?
Yeah, but the problem is he needs to deal with this 86 car. I think that was Guillaume.
I believe you are right. So that's Isaac Clarke done. Tragic for him. Dan Hutt out there, but he's way off pace. Owen McGaugy is out there right now. Nope, but he will not get another lap in. Luca Tiziano is out there. He's improving. I think he's the only one improving in the Freshenera car. 13th right now. That was a fairly competitive first sector. Only 3/10 off Alejandro. Let's see what he can do into the second sector now. This is where the track gets properly difficult. This left-hander that seems to go on forever. Lots of aero grip heavy corners here. He's 5/10 off there. That's going to be pretty difficult to recover from, but we'll see what he can do. He's got a sector left in front of him. A few other people improving right now. Guillaume is actually improving.
We need to remember also that Guillaume do not make any lap, so you'll be probably his only quali lap today, and not bad from Tizana, top 10. Probably Schwarzenegger is very happy because 2 drivers on the top 10 for this race 1. And we will make the purple sector 1, but you see that he lost a bit on sector 2, but probably is a lap for a top 5, and he needs that. He knows that he have a chance for the championship. Let's see what the Dutchman can make for us.
To the line. 6th. That is decent enough. That is a decent start, although I imagine he would like to be further up the order, but you can do a lot from 6th. So there you go. That is the qualifying order. Let's see if I can get that up for everybody. There we go. So Mikel Alejandro takes the pole to 157.66 for Pescara. Isaac Clark behind, only about a 10th off. He'll be right beside him on the first row. Tom Stevens and Sven Gilhold make up the second row. Massimiliano Riboli with Guillaume Branton, that's your second row. Dan Hutt and Owen McGaughey, team will be side by side. Sismon Frelich with Che Hatch will round out the top 10. And then we have Luca Tiziano in the second Scuderia Freshenera car. Just got bumped out of the top 10 by Guillaume's late qualifying effort. He'll be alongside Max Reichel in the 86 E-Racing, the second 86 E-Racing car. That's actually Guillaume's teammate. Peter Vagapov and Stefano Cavucci. Okay, there we go. I'm very sorry. My Canadian, my Canadianness has a certain limited range. Just behind them will be Moritz Kropp and Kamil Jablonski. Then we have Josh Downard and Nikos Anastasiopoulos. Wow, that's a very Greek name. Alexander Roby and Alejandro Valenti will be rounding out the grid. Alejandro did not get a time in, actually, in qualifying. I imagine he had quite a few off tracks or something along those lines. So, we will be heading on over to the warm-up. Yeah. Sort of unfortunate. We'll be missing some of the championship contenders going into this race. We've even had a team pull out, I believe you said, or wasn't able to show up for this event.
I think it was GT Omega that is not raced today.
Yeah.
I believe one car for GT Omega.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is the boat, is the entire thing. So just 20 cars today on the grid. But as I talked before, I hope it be a very interesting race, like was the last 2 rounds. And also for the guys that is missing someone in the broadcast, James Smith, he will appear in the race, so we can, for the fans of James Smith commentary, you will have him aboard after the warm up. But for now, the last words before we have a break is I expected D'Alessandro was to make the quali, but interesting. A lot of good people. We can see that Magalgi, that is very quick driver, just a P8. So this shows how balanced was this quali for now. And I hope it'll be a very difficult start. I believe it'll be very difficult, especially for some drivers that start from the mid of the pack. So I hope do not have any problems on the start and be a clean one. But it's normal if happens some incident, because it's not an easy track, especially with the straight line speed. So probably you will see a lot of 3 wide, 4 wide maybe. But let's see if the guys can make the job done.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few people, I think, in this race who will be looking to try and get points. Or just good points finishes who haven't really had the opportunity yet. Kind of looking at people like Kevin Viek. Is Kevin Viekers in this? No, he's not in this one. Okay, I thought he was. But yeah, Alexander Roby would be one, for example. Or Nikos would be another driver. Just people who have not had an opportunity yet through luck or just the competitiveness of this league to score points. We're probably looking at a proper opportunity. This will be a big opportunity for Owen McGaughey. He's only 8 points behind Kappa Mahin, who's not here today, so he's going to definitely be looking to try and capitalize. Guillaume Branton, another person in that position. He will be starting 6th. So those two are going to be looking to try and move forward. They're not as far up the order as they would like for sure. Going to be a big day to try and move things forward. It's actually shocking the number of retirements through this. Tom Stevens is another driver, actually. 5th right now. Had a retirement out at the second round in Dubai. He's a decent click off, about 23 points shy of Kappa Mahin. So if he had a good round race today, though, could
Yeah,
definitely catch up.
but Stevens in Dubai, like he talked to us in the broadcast, is not a track that he knows too much, so probably that was a big problem for him. And also, he started from the mid of the pack, so that's why I thought start from the mid of the pack, he have big problems. He have a lot of chance to score points, but he have issues during the race with other people. And unfortunately, he have a bit of bad luck on that, especially on the race 2, that he was in an incident that he can make nothing. But in a track that he knows more, that is Korea, he knows more the track because probably he raced before in other leagues. You can see that he can make the solid quali and probably a solid race also. As we know that he is a very smart driver, and probably he will have the patience to make the things happen without any problems.
Yeah, I think if there's anyone I would be looking to in this race, I think it's Stevens. I think this is his weekend to make a splash. If I had to bet on someone to win today, it would be Stevens. So I'm gonna put that pressure on you. Who do you think is gonna win today?
To be honest, I think it's a no-brainer thing. Is probably D'Alessandro because he's one of the best drivers in racing on Factor 2. He's a very quick driver. He's a very experienced one. He have a lot of years in sim racing. I know for him for a lot of years before. So I think the Italian is a no-brainer decision. Probably if nothing happened to him in the start, he'll make the things easily and win without any problems.
There you go. Your predictions for the race. If you're a betting person, there are your two people to bet on for today. Someone who will definitely have to try and improve, as you said earlier, is the likes of Isaac Clark, for example, who's qualified well, but generally has a difficult time off the start. But yeah, only about 2.5 minutes away here from the end of warm-up. We'll take a brief break, and we'll be back with you for the grid.
All right, folks, we're back. Different voice now that you might have heard in qualifying. Yeah, I have returned to the commentary box, and Christian has gone back to doing the cameras like the fine man he is. Rodrigo is still alongside me as the cars are coming up to the grid after what was a very, very interesting qualifying session. And if Dubai was anything to go by, this race is going to be an absolute cracker, isn't it?
Yeah, and by the way, I talked to Kristen before in the warm-up. This guy that we show on the broadcast right now, Kelly D'Alessandro, he is a very, very fast guy, and I think probably if you see Kapamajan dominating the last rounds in GPU, probably I believe today you'll be this guy because he's very good. He's very quick, and probably if things going okay with him, he will dominate today.
Yeah, we can have a run through the starting grid from qualifying as well, which might well be subject to change because of these two really long straights are heading down. But as you said, Michele D'Alessandro taking pole position from Tom Stevens, and his main championship rival, Kapamajan, is not here today, so this is a big chance for him to get some points. Sven Gilhard is third, Matty Riboli in fourth. Guillaume Branton popped into fifth place right at the end of qualifying and is ahead of Dan Hutt in sixth. Owen Magauji seventh, and Che Hatch moves up to eighth after a few drivers picking up some penalties carried over from Dubai. Luca Tizzano is in ninth place, the first time both Fretaneros in the top 10 in qualifying, and Max Reichel makes it 286s in the top 10 as well. Then we have the two Meyer Downard cards right behind one another with Moritz Kopp and Josh Downer 13th and 15th, split by Kamil Jablonski. Simon Frelich takes a penalty and drops down to 16th. He's one to watch to climb through the order. Nikos Asapoulos in 17th, Alexander Robbie, his teammate, in 18th, Isaac Clark 19th, might not have to worry too much about getting a bad start as he's penalised for the last race and drops to 19th, and Alessandro Valente in 20th position, I believe, rounding off the grid here in Korea. And Korea is really a track of two halves. The first sector is all about speed and low speed cornering, and the second and third sectors are all about high downforce as you fly through a lot of high speed corners. So it's really a track where we're going to see a lot of the overtaking done in the first sector, and maybe a lot of overtaking in the second sector as well. But you need to be opportunistic. But of course, if you have a car that's set up for that first sector, you're going to struggle in the next two, and you're going to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious, James, to see how Accenza will make this race, because looks like they have the fastest car in the straight for this track, because they were very, very fast on the sector 1 on this track. But the thing is how they will handle the sector 2 compared to the other cars, and how will be the tie wear for these cars for the final. Because if you remember from the race 2 in Dubai, Guillaume have a better luck on the start, was a bit faster.
Oh, that was fun there. I think that was Simon Frelich who's gone round. He's not hit anything. But yeah, as you were saying, this is probably going to be a tyre killer. In Formula 1, at least, it was a tyre killer.
Oh, luckily, it looks like Simon do not have any problem on the suspension, but maybe he was trying to hit his tire so much that he forgot the turn in the wheel, but hope the Polish boy is alive, so let's go to the race.
He's made it back to his grid slot. Yeah, this first sector is going to be wild with that 1 kilometer straight followed by a 700 meter straight. It's going to be absolute chaos, and we are underway for Korea. Let's see how this goes. D'Alessandro gets away pretty well, not as good as Tom Stevens, but he's not quite able to drop alongside, but he goes down his inside into the first corner. They make a bit of contact there, and the championship protagonist moves into the lead momentarily and now pulls ahead. And now as we come onto this 1 kilometer straight, let's see that the slipstream time. You were mentioning the extensive straight line speed, and you can see Sven Gillard is tucked right underneath that rear wing of D'Alessandro with 3 wide for the lead. It's chaos behind as well, but look at this for the lead coming into turn 3. Gillard's on the outside trying to sweep past both of them, and I think he's going to do it. That is a sensational move. Someone flies off in the background into the ample runoff that is present there on the exit, but Gilhard moving from third to first on the start, just sweeping around the outside of the other two, but it's not finished yet. D'Alessandro wants his position back. Stevens wants his position back. Dives down the inside to try and take it into this double chicane. And I think he might have pulled this off as more contact. In the back, they're still side by side for the lead. Stevens has the inside line again and retakes the lead of the race. D'Alessandro has third place after what was not a bad launch, but just no straight line speed in that car whatsoever. Got put in the middle, and he's dropped way down, and is now under pressure from Massi Riboli, but he's trying to regain that second place. And again, here we go. That Alexander is more set up for this first sector. It's going to struggle in the second sector as it makes contact with the front wing of D'Alessandro. Hopefully no damage to either cars there. We saw a few cars spearing off. I think Frelich has dropped down the order, as has Jablonski, so they were probably a few of the cars involved in that. This is on board with the Valley of Massi Riboli, who's probably, I think, running in the highest position he has all season, or one of the highest positions he has all season. He's got a perfect view of this battle here with the FSR mainstay stuck behind the Dutchman, and Stevens pulling a slight gap, but not enough, I would say, to clear that slipstream. It's going to, let's see now, this will really be a test of how fast these cars are in the straight line now that we're not really at the start anymore, but good early signs that we're going to have a good race here.
Yeah, James, as I talked before, Gilhold very, very quick on the straights. We can see how the Axianza car is flying on the straight line, and I think D'Alessandro is not on the negative right now because he has the patience to do not be so, how I can say, he do not be so aggressive. He see that the third wide was a bad idea for him, so he prefers to give up for that moment for a few
seconds. Sensor down the straight, a massive lock-up for Owen McGaugy, and they both overtake. I think that's going on Branton. They both passed, and yet again, Alexander picks up 2 places at the same corner, this time on the inside line. So Hatch moves up into 5th place. That was a nice move. These two still going at it here into turn 4. McGaugy wants his position back, and he's doing exactly what his teammate did to Sven Gillard on the last lap and retakes 6th place there.
Yeah, as I talked before, the Axianza car is very quick on the straight line, and Clay Hatch using the opportunity to make that happen. But the thing is how he can defend the position from Adalgi in the sector 2, because we know that the sector 2, the Axianza car have a weakness against the other cars. And we can see that D'Alessandro, even with the bad start, we can talk, because I do not think he have a bad start, but the situations in the track make he lost the 2 places, and also he was
exactly
to not try to be so much aggressive for the start. And we can see that he put a lot of pressure on Gilhold, so we need to see also how Gilhold can avoid this pressure and continue his pace to have a chance to overtake also Stevens.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago we saw Gillard attack, but not really having to defend much, and you can see his car is a bit unstable through these corners, sliding the rear around, trying to get it turned in, which is a lot of oversteer, but I think this is going to be a really good opportunity for Michele D'Alessandro, the Italian, to move to the right-hand side of the track, the outside line, because Gillard's not got that luxury of slipstream that D'Alessandro has. He's going to try and position his car to get a nice little switchback, get on the power earlier, and maybe go past Gillard into turn 3. Let's see, Gillard knows it. He moves over to the left-hand side of the track, creates a bit of a snake that moves along with him. He's the head of it. So let's see, D'Alessandro closing and closing and closing. The braking zone's coming up. Gillard goes defensive once again. D'Alessandro moves to the outside line in the Pescara. They are side by side as they hit the brakes. D'Alessandro's slightly later. They're going to make a bit of contact. They're still side by side on the exit, and neither of them really have a slipstream. I think D'Alessandro got a slightly better exit out of the corner, but they are completely neck and neck as they fly down towards turn 4. Here's a good view of it. On board with the yellow Valley Massi Riboli, and Gillard's been overtaken down the inside of this corner once, and it's happened again. He drops back down to 3rd place, which is where he started this race, and now he has to check his mirrors, see if Riboli's going to send any lunges in, but he thinks better of that and just tucks in behind. But yeah, nice move from D'Alessandro, just very good patience there at the first corner. Didn't really want to risk a move and just set one up for later, wasn't it?
Yeah, we see how good these guys are. I do not talk in things without know. D'Alessandro is very, very one of the best drivers in our Factor 2, because we see the patience he have to make the move. He was very chirurgical, very precise in the overtaking move. We see how he used the weakness of Gilhold's car to himself to make the move properly and make the things without any issue to him. So and now D'Alessandro have a free track to catch Stevens, and Stevens now needs to show a lot of calm and patience, because probably D'Alessandro will be here to him and will try to put the pressure on him if he have the patience to make it now quick stints.
Gillo's really struggling. He's already fallen 1.5 seconds off D'Alessandro. Now he's vulnerable to Riboli, and I think he's going to get past again here, as we saw Cavaciuti running wide whilst you were giving us that wonderful bit of analysis there. But here comes Riboli to the outside line. It's the same scenario as D'Alessandro. He's not quite as far ahead as he is, but he's again going to try and just sweep around the outside here. But no, Gillo cuts him off and doesn't really allow for a switchback here. That was good defending and holds third place, I think. We'll see. Riboli will still have the slipstream down to the next braking zone, but I think he's too far back to go for a lunge. Indeed he is. There's a long race ahead. We're only on lap 4 of 12. And just sits in behind. Gillo's doesn't look like he's going to be catching D'Alessandro anytime soon. But he's really struggling to hit some of these apexes, just running wide. I've got corner after corner after corner. He's either his tires are too hot or something. He's just going to calm down a little bit and focus on hitting these apexes, because otherwise he will eventually get passed by Riboli.
Yes, but we see the difference between Riboli and D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro was very, very precise on the braking point in the corner when he was outside, and that's make he have the advantage to make the move on the other corner because he was side by side. Is a thing that he really can't make with Gilhold, and that's make a chance to Gilhold to defend his position. But also then Hunt overtaking Magaldi in this lap. He is on the P6 right now, and we remember that he was very, very quick in Dubai in the race too. So
oh my goodness, Riboli was almost down the side of Gillo. Look, Gillo's all over the place. Runs wide again through there. Surely he's not going to be able to defend this position much longer. Riboli, look at the dirty air though, forcing Riboli to back off the throttle, or he was going straight to the grass. As Tom Stevens, I mean, he really isn't hanging around. He's sending fastest lap after fastest lap. Here comes Riboli. He's going to set this move up into turn 3 again, I think. Through turn 1 they go. Needs a good exit. That wasn't an amazing exit. Through turn 2 to the kink, completely flat. Maybe he's in a good position because he's going to get the slipstream really powerfully all the way down until the braking zone. Let's see. That dark red and black accents are up ahead of him. Gets closer and closer. Gilloud moves to the inside line. He likes that inside line. He's going to switch back to the left. He's going to make it really difficult for himself. Riboli comes in all locked up, but manages to get that car in a good position to switch back. And he's going to power past Gilloud momentarily here. He'll move up into third place. Can he go all the way around the outside, though? We haven't seen a car do that yet. Let's see. In the braking zone, Gilloud knows how to overtake it because he's been passed twice down this same corner in the same position, and he does hold on to it again. Riboli frustrated, but he's got a big gap back down to Che Hatch, 4 seconds down to the other Accenter. He is in an Accenter sandwich, but not a very spacious one.
About the battle for the P5, it looks like Magaldi touched someone because I see from the broadcast here that a car was going for the outside line, so probably something happened between Magaldi, Den Hut, and Clay Hatch. But as I talking before, I was talking about the battle from Gilhold and Riboli. The outside line in that corner is very difficult to make a move there, so Gilhold basically give to Riboli that line, knows that it was very, very difficult to Riboli make something. Riboli knows that he needs to be on the inside line for the next corner, but he knows that making perfect the apex in the outside would not be an easy job, but he knows that if he wants to make the podium today, he needs to make the thing happen.
What a move by Max Reicher around the outside of Krop. At that long right-hander. He'd just run wide a few corners earlier and lost that place to him and also Isaac Clark up ahead, but he's already made one of those positions back. A lovely move. Here's Peter Vagapov in the other valet right behind Omar Gauji, who we assume was involved in a bit of an incident because he's dropped from 6th place down to 9th. Quite a substantial loss of time as well. And he's going to be under pressure. Valle seem to be going on the attack a lot in this race. Riboli's not close enough to Gilhold to pull a move off on this lap. And look, the gap between Stevens and D'Alessandro is closing ever so slightly at the front. Here's Vagapov forced to the outside line again. The drivers really seeming to prefer the inside line, a double front lockup for Owen McGouge as he tried to slow that car down. That's not going to do his tyres or temperature any good at all. But I think it was enough to hold the position for the time being. Let's see. I think Vagapov is too far back. Indeed, he is, as they break for turn number 4.
Yeah, and And also, as you can see, the gap from Stevens and Alessandro is not being slower. In fact, Stevens makes a brilliant job. And Stevens knows that he needs to push a lot if he wants to beat Alessandro, because he's very good. And Stevens for now making a perfect job, a brilliant job. If he wins this race one, he'll be basically, I believe, the best, one of the best races I see from Tom Stevens in race.
Yeah, here's a battle for 5th place. Che Hatch has been caught by the Freccianero of Dan Hutt, who we know really aggressively attacks drivers. We saw that battle with, that ding-dong battle with Max Reichel all the way through both Dubai races. Runs a bit wide there. You see the dirty air, you get too close in any car and it does put you wide. But on the straights, that translates into less drag and higher top speed if you can get into that position. Look, he lost us so much time through those last few corners in Che Hatch's dirty air. And now we're into the part of the track where the Excentra is at its peak powers. So I don't think Hurt will be able to pull a move here unless there's a really bad run out of the first corner for Che Hatch. Let's see. Cavaciuti is a bit close to Guillaume Branton, though, for 7th place and hits the back of him. And Branton has to go a bit wide there. And you can't really blame him for that. He was punted wide at the first corner by Stefano Cavaciuti. Just missed his braking zone completely. I don't think he'll get a penalty for it because it hasn't really gained or lost any of them much time. Well, Owen Magauji has been allowed to close up a little bit, but I don't think he's close enough for a move. But yeah, that was interesting from Cavaciuti. Who's again really late on the brakes. He's going to miss the corner here, and Magauji might have an opportunity now into turn 4. He's all over the shop, Stefano Cavaciuti, while his teammate is pressing for the lead. Look at the gap there for the lead. It's down to 0.3 as they come into the middle sector, and Max Reichel's been given a penalty, maybe for overtaking off the track. I don't know. It's likely because we've seen a lot of drivers running wide. But that's a penalty. That's the first penalty I've seen so far in this race. That's a shame for him. His race goes from bad to worse. The man in 14th position, and Magauji couldn't quite get past Cavaciuti there. And now, here's what I just mentioned ever so slightly. Michele D'Alessandro has caught up to Tom Stevens, the man who took the race lead from him very early on in this race, and has held it ever since. He's driven very well. D'Alessandro's just been managing the situation, waiting for the lap to really close in, use up a bit of tyres and fuel, and I think he's chosen to be this lap now. So this is going to get interesting. He's got a gap. He's got a good gap to Sven Gillow behind as well. No need to worry about pressure from behind. So let's see. It's going to be all about if he can make this move in the next few laps.
Well, something happened with Stevens because the gap was more than 1 second, so he made probably a big mistake, and now he have 5 laps to go and have this guy near to him. He knows that how desperate can be pressured by Michele D'Alessandro, because D'Alessandro will be very precise if he have a chance. So Stevens needs to have the patience, continue with his pace. He knows that his pace was better than Alessandro laps before, so he can do that. He just needs to do not be nervous now that he have this guy behind him on the mirror. And about Gilhold and Riboli, it looks like Riboli starts to lose a bit of the pace compared to Gilhold.
Yeah, you can see it in the background, but you can also see in the foreground D'Alessandro's closing, and Stevens felt it necessary to defend the inside line there. Such was his concern that D'Alessandro was coming, and he punts into the back of him. Stevens just parking the bus on the apex, not allowing D'Alessandro to pull a switchback. I mean, it's fair. D'Alessandro kind of runs into the back of him as a result. Here's a move from Dan Hutt down the inside of Che Hatch at turn 4. That's really late and bold. They're still side by side. And if Hutt can hold it all, they make more contact. Hatch kind of forcing him off the track there, really putting him into a big squeeze on that left side of the track. I think that was more a racing incident. They both kind of bumped into each other. And Hatch holds the position for the time being, but that's getting feisty, and that will allow the gap behind to close up a little bit, although Guillaume Branton is holding off 2 cars himself, so I don't think he's focusing too much on what's happening ahead, but these two are going to go right down to the wire. And here you can see Guillaume Branton right ahead of Stefano Cavaciuti, 1/10 of a second between them. Cavaciuti's practically bumping Branton through these corners. And he's trying to set him up here with a little switchback. You can see, get on the power earlier, but you can't really pass into these sweeping corners, which are really fun to drive, but they're not so... Oh no! Branton's gone off! He's missed his braking point completely there in the final sector. and he's gone into the escape run and will probably drop out of the points he has done, and he's lost his front wing. Oh, he goes from bad to worse for Guillaume Branton. He's not only dropped out of the points, he's dropped the front wing on his car, and that's going to be a no scoring points for him, and he's going to be at the back for race 2 as well. And here's side by side for the lead. Tom Stevens on the outside, Michele Alessandro on the inside. Can he pull this one off? This is the opportunity he's been waiting for 9 laps now. Down the inside goes Michele Alessandro. Has he overcooked it? He's gone in really, really deep. Stevens goes for the switchback. They're side by side on the exit as they were coming into the corner. D'Alessandro with that critical inside line. A critical inside line that we've not seen anybody not convert and overtake being on it practically, and they're still side by side as they turn in. D'Alessandro kind of pushing his rival wide. Stevens now later on the brakes into the next part of it, and they bump wheels, and Stevens going to try and go for the switchback on D'Alessandro, but I don't think he's got enough drive. Michele D'Alessandro moves into the race lead for the first time in race 1 with a ding-dong battle for those first few corners. And can he now accelerate off into the distance before Stevens gets a chance to repass him?
Yeah, we see that D'Alessandro was very smart when he was on the inside line in that corner, but before Stevens changed the lines with him, he makes the dive bomb already focusing in making the be on the outside, because the next corner he was to be in the inside. It was the better choice for overtaking. And now we can see the difference of pace between D'Alessandro.
Oh my word, 1 second he's pulled already on Tom Stevens. My goodness, he's absolutely flown into the distance. No way Tom Stevens is repassing him in the next few laps, at least at this pace. That is astonishing pace from Michele D'Alessandro. Maybe it's unsettled Tom Stevens a little bit as well, and he is a bit all over the shop, but that pace, and D'Alessandro doesn't want him to have any slipstream at all. He's on the left-hand side of the track, even though he's well clear of giving Tom Stevens a slipstream. Such is the driver. D'Alessandro is the perfectionist. And here's another battle, Che Hatch and Dan Hutt. And you get the feeling that Dan Hutt is going to eventually get past this Excensa.
Yes, this battle, what the fuck, it's basically the battle of the race, because from the start, from now, they still battle. But we know that the Excensa car have a problem with the tire wear, because as I expected, by the way, let's see if
Here comes Hutt. He's found the inside line, whether the Hatch gave it to him or not. He's really squeezing him to the right-hand side of the track, though. And he's going to probably just switch. There you go. Switches over to the left-hand side of the track as to open the corner up as much as he can and try to make a switchback. But Hutt was still turning into the corner, and it blocked Hatch from doing it and might have caused him a bit of damage as well. And is that Dan Hutt now through for good? He's not quite far enough ahead, I think, to survive a lunge. Hatch feints one to the inside and goes for it and gets it slowed down just in time. Hutt slides a little bit, and he was too far back for Che Hatch in the end. And Dan Hutt, deservedly I think so, moves into the top 5 for the first time this race. Yeah. And is that the end of this battle now? Let's see if Hatch can stick with him.
I don't think Hatch have any chance now, because probably that Sensa car do not have good tires to, especially on the sector 2 right now. I believe that they focus on the speed on the sector 1, but the sector 2 is a big problem, especially on the with this tricky corners that have a bit some medium and high speed corners that will destroy a bit the inside part of the tire. So I don't believe Che Hatch will have any chance to overtake Dan Hutt now, just if Dan Hutt make a big mistake.
Yeah, much like what we saw with D'Alessandro and Stevens. Look, Hutt's disappearing, and now Hatch has to check his mirrors, because you can see Christian's kindly put us up the graphic for behind, and he runs really wide there. Oh, there's been a problem, I think, for Cavaciuti, because he just lost off. He has made a mistake. He's kept position, but he's made a big mistake. We've only 2 laps to go. That might be his chance of a top 6 gone. Here's a battle for 8th between Owen McGouge and Isaac Clark. Clark locks up the left front, coming into the first corner, and wide goes McGouge, getting a bit of extra speed on the exit, and even then he's still not very quick. So let's see, can Isaac Clark, who's come from 19th on the grid, might I add, this has been a brilliant drive from the ground effect sim racing driver. He pulls to the outside line, is going to pick up that small bit of toe from Cavaciuti up there. Can he go around the outside? They're roughly equal on the brakes. He's going to try and go all the way around rather than go for a switchback, and he's still managed to get that car alongside. And now he'll have the inside line, of course, for the next think that Isaac Clarke will be able to pull this one off. Magauji squeezing him quite aggressively, and now will do the hatch track strategy and switch as far to the outside as he can. With a tyre rubbing between them, Clarke ahead and turning into the corner ahead as well. And with the inside line, should be able to hold this as they make more contact, but Clarke does go through and moves up now 11 places from his starting position, and you get the feeling he's not quite done yet. And might well fancy a go at 7th place. Here's Lucatizano, who is still in his grid position, actually, in 10th place, praying for these guys to have a collision.
I believe Tizano is already happy even if he do not have a collision, because for now he have the pole position for the race 2. So Scuderia Fortunato can score a lot of points in race 2 if he does not have any issues. And also Dan Hutt in top 5 again already make another good result for Fortunato, very interesting. And we see that the gap from Alessandro Stevens is almost 3 seconds. Is how big the difference was between both drivers right now. But this also is about the experience both have. Stevens is a new guy in racing leagues, and Alessandro is a veteran. He's a guy that has a lot of years of experience. So this shows also the gap that have the top level to a guy like Stevens. But Stevens have a lot of potential, and he shows that to D'Alessandro. So I think for Stevens, probably he's very happy for this result, especially because he knows that D'Alessandro is not his rival in the championship. His rival in the championship is not today, and he scored a lot of points that could help him for the next round.
Yeah, especially after scoring 0 points in Dubai in both race 1 and race 2. Granted, Capomaggiore also didn't score points in race 2, but he did win race 1, so he extended his lead quite substantially there. And I think that Stevens will be quite happy this race is coming to an end, because Sven Gillard has slowly been reeling him in, but he's going to run out of laps, I think. Here's Isaac Clarke, who I mentioned is hungry for another position. He's also hungry not to spin that car. Had to do a lot of corrections to make sure it didn't, and he's caught right up to the back of Cavacciuti. He is on an absolute charge, and he's going to start race 2 in 3rd place as it stands, 3rd or 4th, provided nothing goes seriously wrong. And that is going to be interesting, because clearly he's faster. Clearly he is one of the fastest guys out there today. And a yellow flag in Sector 1. Someone's had a moment on the final lap. Bless them. Let's see if he can pull this one off on Cavacciuti. I think if Cavacciuti just puts that car in the middle of the track, I think he'll be okay. But yeah, that gap at the front between D'Alessandro and Stevens has also been coming down ever so slightly in the last few laps. D'Alessandro pulled that one. He pulled that gap mostly in the opening exchanges from getting the position, and Clarke runs wide, and I think that's any chance of him getting 7th place gone. As Michele D'Alessandro has crossed the line and has brilliantly won race 1 here at the Korea International Circuit. He lost the lead, he lost 2nd place, but he made them both up with some very calculated moves and takes the checkered flag. Tom Stevens comes home 2nd place. Sven Gilhode makes it 2 podiums in the last 3 races and 3 podiums in the last 3 races for Accenture in 3rd. Riboli comes home for a best finish of the season in 4th. Dan Hutt is 5th. Che Hatch holds off Cavacciuti and Isaac Clarke for 6th, 7th and 8th. And here you see Owen Magauji come across the line to beat Luca Tizzano to 9th position. But a very entertaining race. We saw some really, really good and respectful racing between these guys. A lot less carnage than we saw in Dubai. And yeah, bring on race 2. This, of course, the top 10 you see now will be reversed. So Luca Tizzano will start on pole position, for example, with Owen Magauji alongside him. And Isaac Clarke is my guy to watch for race 2, because he came from 19th on the grid to finish in 8th place. A wonderful recovery drive from him, wasn't it, Rodrigo?
Yeah, well, it was a very good race, especially because I was talking to Christian in the warm-up. For me, it was a no-brainer decision that D'Alessandro was in this race. Even with the start that he lost the 2 places, I think it was normal that to happen. Maybe because the start of the track, the first sector, could able to this happen. But he shows why he one of the best drivers in sim racing at Sector 2. And was a dominant race, even if he did not lead all the laps. Stevens makes a very good job. He strategy that Stevens try to be more aggressive on the start, but looks like the Alessandro handled that without any issues, and then pushing more in the final. We see a bit of bad luck here today. Guillaume have that problem that make he lose the front wing. Foul race for him, 0 points in the race one. It will be difficult to win the race two. The MDR today was not good, maybe because Fabian Ruth is not racing, that he's the top guy on the team in the championship. But a very very good race by Axenza, another podium for them, another top 10 for both drivers, and also for Scuderia Facchanera. So a lot of things that on the start was nothing, do not show that results now is starting to improve and show a lot of interest in big results as we can see it.
Yeah, it's good that you mention how good Alexandra are doing so that I don't get called bias. But yeah, race 2 should be an absolute cracker. I mean, Stevens already has closed in massively on Capomaggiore in the championship and will start in the top 10. Of course, the one who missed out on the top 10 just by 2 seconds, Peter Vagapov, starts 11th rather than starting in first, which is the cruelty of the system, but you have to be. 1 week you can be in the top 10 in 10th place, and the other you're 1 position down below. But the drivers have gone to a second warm-up of the event, and then as the grid sorted out, and then we'll have race 2 underway. But a few talking points on that race. No real overtakes at all in the middle or final sectors. I mean, Guyon, of course, the guys overtook him because I think it was a brake failure. I mean, you don't just forget to brake. These drivers have done tens, maybe hundreds of laps of practice around here. You don't just forget to brake for a corner. I think that was more a brake failure or something jammed on his car, so he's going to start near the back. But no overtakes at all in the middle and final sector. And was that what we were expecting? Because maybe we expected more in the first few sectors, of course, but there was very, very little in the middle and third sectors, which is not really at least what I would have expected with nimbler cars that we have.
In fact, I expect that the overtaking points was to be the 2 straight lines in the sector 1. The straight line in the final I do not expect because of the way it's made in the corners behind. So, and the sector 2 start of the sector 3 is a bit hard because we have a lot of tricky corners, so maybe someone that do not think too much can maybe try overtaking that part, but the big problem, the big issue is you do not have space to continue that aggressive move in that corner. That's the big issue in the sector 2 and 3. The straight line, I was expecting that happen. The thing is, the second corner to the straight line it's more easy to overtake if you are on the inside line, because the inside you can have a better apex to already make the next one. That is a tricky corner. Also, you make that corner to the left and make already another corner to the right. So that's the difficult to try to make that from the outside. But now for this race 2, I'm very very interesting to see how how D'Alessandro can handle from the back. But we will see just this in 5 minutes, because for now let's have a little break, but in 5 minutes we'll be back to continue the broadcast.
Back running through reverse grid 2 and getting ready for race 2, but yeah, 5 minutes, get a glass of water and pump yourself up for race 2.
Well, hello. Looks like James have a bit of problem with his microphone for now. So the round three today, guys, in Korea International Circuit. The race two we starting in a few seconds. The cars is already put organized in the lineup to start the race today. As we see, the winner of the race one was Michele D'Alessandro, the Italian driver driving for the Italian team Pescara. First win by Pescara in this year of the 2021 season in TPU, and looks like my James is trying to coming back for now. Let's talk in the starting lineup for the round three race two in Korea. So Luca Tisano, you make the P1 with Magalgi P2, Clark P3. Nice race by Clark and Cavachucci in P4, driver from Pescara. Top 5 finish with Clay Hatch from Accensa, Dan Hutt in 6th place, Riboli from Valley in 7th, and Sven Gilhold for Accensa also in D8. So this is the top 8, and the top 10 is finished by the guys that was leading the race with Stevens and D'Alessandro. Peter Vagarov from Valley in P11, and P20 is the guy from Bahamas, Alessandro Valente. So P13 is Nikos Anastasopoulos. The MDR lineup with Prop and Downer finished the top 15 with Guillaume Brenton in top 16. Can Guillaume make a better race? Let's see. With Jabonski and P17, Shimon Ferrick from Royal Blue Racing P18, Max Reichel P19, and the last car in the track is Alexander Robe for Year 1 Racing in P20. So this is the top 20 for the race today. I hope my friend James Smith will be back soon.
That should be okay now.
So okay.
Wants to watch, Rodrigo. Who you got your money on to give us a surprise?
It's difficult because this track is I believe if D'Alessandro can handle well, he can have another chance to win the race. But if you put in a situation that something bad happened and D'Alessandro does not have the gap, the pace to make a miracle and be near to the guys in the front, I believe Magalgi have a very good chance to win the race too today.
Yeah, also I would say watch the two 8-6 cars starting 16th and 19th, Guillaume Branton and Max Weichel, respectively. They're both much better than that position, especially Guillaume, who was running in the top 10 until that unfortunate incident in Sector 3, and he's been up at the front for most of the season, staying out of trouble. So watch those two as they climb their way through. I mean, Isaac Clark went up 11 places in race 1, so those two will be looking to try and follow suit. At the front, as you said, Owen Magalgi, very strong shout starting on the front row. But I think Dan Hutt as well is a bit of an underdog that we might be overlooking, starting in 6th place, and always likes to move forward in races with his aggression. So if he can get a good start, and D'Alessandro doesn't have enough laps, or someone like D'Alessandro doesn't have enough laps to catch up, then we'll see. But it all depends on the start, really.
We need to watch also Isaac Clark, but as I talked before, when you are not here,
of course.
That Isaac Clark always can make good fouls, but he have a problem on the starts. He never makes good starts. So let's see if he can make a good start today and make it a good race happen to him.
There's Tizano missed his box there. But yeah, normally Clark doesn't make good starts, but he made a good start last time out. But anyway, we're getting ready to go racing for race 2. Everyone has lined up on the grid. It's lights out, and away we go. Who's off the line? Certainly the man in P2, Owen Magalgi, steams down the middle and into the lead. As Isaac Clark locks up behind him and runs really wide. It's going to continue to be poor start after poor start for Clark as he runs really wide, and now rejoined side by side with Che Hatch kind of pushing him into the wall, but Hatch prevails and goes through. What a start by Owen Magalgi though, and it's chaos behind. Look at this. Sven Gilho starting in 8th, already running up in 6th place, trying to find a move on his teammate, and as well the man who ran away, Isaac Clark, in this contact there. As they all bunch up on the inside of the corner, they somehow all make it through, turned in. I don't think everyone makes it through. No one's gone off in the background or anything there. Magalgi leads by 2 seconds after 4 corners as Tizano under pressure from Cavachucci to the outside line with 3 wide just behind them. There's the valley getting squeezed, everyone going sideways, Hatch sideways into the valley. It's a chain reaction, and somehow again everybody survives with no damage either. This is quite remarkable somehow everyone is still in this race. It's absolute ding-dong chaos. It's like a game of pinball out there. Magauji holds firm in the lead, though, by over 2 seconds now, just extending it corner by corner. Capacciuti second place, more contact between Peter Viopol, and that's Tom Stevens, who's dropped a few places on the start. In fact, hasn't dropped any anymore. He's back up to where he started as he runs really wide there. And it's someone's gone round. We finally had someone go round. I say finally because we really should have had about half the grid spin around. I don't know who that was. It was Max Reichel. It continues to be a poor weekend for him. And he drops way down to the back of the field, having tried to make up places on the start. He's on board with Luca Tisano, the pole man, has already been unsettled down to third place. If any encouragement's needed for him, third place on the first lap is where D'Alessandro won the race from in the last race, but already a big gap up to Capacciuti and Magauji on board with Isaac Clark, who despite getting sideways through the first corner, only lost 1 place in the end, and is looking to already regain it. Sven Gilhard made up 2 places at the start and sits behind his teammate, and those two behind Clark, if we were to see behind him, but we're looking in front at Tisano. But yeah, much more chaotic start than in race 1, wasn't it, Rodrigo?
Yeah, it was a bit expected, but also a brilliant start by Magauji. He was flying on the start, was a perfect start by him, and we can see that they have a big gap from Capacciuti. So I believe Magauji, if nothing happens, he can be the winner of this race. That is good for Team Fairway, that is leading the championship. And also, again, let's start for Clark, but at least he's still on P4, so still have a chance to make something. We can see that D'Alessandro do not have a superb start again, but he is still on the track. That is a positive thing, so probably we can see that D'Alessandro can be near to these guys. Also, Stevens can be near to these guys. Stevens suffer a bit, but he can recover well because he's already in the P8, positive by Tom Stevens. But let's see now how Stevens, D'Alessandro, and also Guillaume Brenton in the top 10 right now can handle in a few laps against the guys in front of him.
Yeah, already up 6 places, Guillaume Branton, right behind D'Alessandro. We saw the two Excenza swap places. Gillard went in front of Hatch and Riboli. Well, he's seen the back of an Excenza before. We saw it a lot in the last race, but he couldn't get past. And see if he can do it this time around. We saw Isaac Clark as well almost get past Tisano. He's right up his gearbox again. He's going for it into sector 3, but backs out of that one quite sensibly into such a fast corner with a big straight for overtaking coming up in about half a minute's time. So that was, I think, the more sensible thing to do. Just kind of maybe putting Tisano's nerves up a little bit with that attempt. Well, it looked like an attempt at overtaking. He backed out of it at the last moment. Almost runs wide through this final real corner. As we cross the line, Magauji with the fastest lap of the race, 3.2 seconds clear of Capacciuti, and with D'Alessandro and Stevens in 8th and 9th place still. He is looking good, as we were saying. If he has the pace to just streak away into the lead and just increase that gap until it's unassailable in the 12 laps that we have. He's on board with Isaac Clark as he bears down on Luca Tisano. Can he pull the move off this time? Tisano doesn't defend. Clark goes to the inside line, and later on the brakes, as long as he doesn't overcook it and gets it turned in, which he has done, and moves up into the podium places. And Tisano's got to watch his mirrors as Hatch got overtaken by Riboli in the background there, and will be under pressure from Tom Stevens and D'Alessandro. That's going to get messy. He's on board with Gilhard, who's too far back, and here you go. Here's that battle. You can see Hatch to the outside of Riboli trying to get his position back. He's left the door open for Stevens, though. They turn into the corner. Everybody makes it through. Hatch running very wide. Stevens picks up a place on him, and D'Alessandro, I think, is going to do the same. And D'Alessandro moves up as well. So Che Hatch loses 3 places in the space of 4 corners. Not good for the Excenza man. And it might be 3 positions he'll struggle to get back as well. But exactly what D'Alessandro Stevens want. And D'Alessandro is all over the back of Tom Stevens now. Can he try and find a way through? Because this would be really someone he wants to pass, and someone that Stevens doesn't want to be overtaken by, because that's not going to be very easy to recoup for the Team Furlich man. But yeah, fair, good racing, but Hatch on the outside there just left the door open for the other two, and they both went straight through it.
Yeah, it's the thing I talked before, James. He made a bad decision. He prefers to defend. He tried to overtake Riboli instead of trying to defend in the position. If he continued from the inside line, he wants to defend the position well, I believe, but he chose the wrong line. And against drivers like Tom Stevens and D'Alessandro, making that is instant lose, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Would have been, if he just held the inside line, then he probably would have been fine and would have held the position. But he tried to get it back, ran wide, and the result is on your left side of the screen. He's down in 9th place now, and here's a big train of cars. Riboli behind Sven Gilhode, who's behind Tiziano, and then you have Stevens and D'Alessandro in this as well. And I think Riboli fancies his chances as Sven Gilhode. He was unsuccessful in his attempts to pass him in the last race. What about now? He's quite close, and Gillard knows it and feints ever so slightly to the right-hand side, and they make a bit of contact, but nothing too major. But that has compromised Massi Riboli quite substantially, and he's got Tom Stevens now to acknowledge on his right-hand side as they approach turn 4. Let's see. Stevens trying to go to the inside line, but no, he's forced to the outside line. The Riboli came off. Oh no! Riboli came in all locked up with both front tyres and just steamrolled down the corner. And while Stevens turned into him, Riboli was just heading straight down in the middle, and now Stevens trying to go down the inside, and he spins Riboli into a half spin, punts him back round the right way, and Michele D'Alessandro crucially goes through with nothing doing, just went straight through the middle as those two tripped over each other. That's exactly what he wanted. Here's Guillaume Branton in 10th place trying to pass Che Hatch while all that's kicking off in front of him. Riboli wants to get back past Tom Stevens, goes down the inside, and oh no, they make contact again. Hatch has to go off the circuit. Riboli loses 3 places, including one to his teammate. That was, I think that was a bit of Stevens not wanting to give the place up, and Riboli E2 us round the outside of the longest corner on the track goes Guillaume Branton, and it moves up into 8th place quite spectacularly there, the Dutchman. That's a fantastic overtake. Oh, he's run wide. He's run very wide. Hatch trying to go around the outside, and now the other Valley's pitched into a half spin. Hatch runs way off the circuit once again, and has to be careful rejoining. My goodness, it's all kicking off in race 2. Everyone's concentration seems to be fully used up in race 1, and there's lapses of it plentiful in race 2. But we've seen Guillaume Branton and Alessandro, the wise old heads, just moving through the field rather unscathed.
Well, the yellow ones need to calm down a bit. Of course, we can talk about Stan Stevens. By the way, we have
sorry to cut you off. Sven Gilhard is moving up places. He's going to challenge for 4th place. He's got the inside line on Luca Tiziano, and as long as he doesn't make a mistake in the braking zone, they bang wheels, but there's no big mistake, and indeed he goes through into 4th place. It's a bit of a gap up to Isaac Clarke ahead, but it's not beyond him to get the position. But as you were saying,
so I was to say the values, by the way, they will make again, as we can see. But I think they forcing too much. They're trying to be too aggressive, and that's an issue not just Riboli but also Vagapov, because it was not necessary to Vagapov try the inside line in that specific part of the corner. He does not have the space to try that. I think Riboli knows that he have an issue with his car and he can't defend from Stevens. Of course, we can tap the Stevens also wants to be more patient and do not. Oh my goodness!
Oh no! D'Alessandro's made a big mistake. He's hit the bow. No! He's been collected by Tom Stevens. He's lost his rear wing. The man we've been doing nothing but praising has made a critical error. Ran into the back of Luca Tiziano through the really, really fast left-hander, and Tom Stevens has lost his front wing. This is unbelievable. Tom Stevens is in a position to potentially get in front of Capamaggi in the championship. Not anymore. He's lost his front wing, and that's his chance of scoring points gone. Just like that. And the same goes for D'Alessandro. My goodness. The two top two in the first race, both have been siding their way through the field. Neither of them are going to score points, and they've got to be careful of Isaac Clarke. What on earth happened there? D'Alessandro, I think, made the mistake. Scott spun round, and Stevens just couldn't go anywhere and collected him. Unbelievable. Both of them wiped out on the spot.
Difficult to know if Stevens have a chance to avoid that or not, because we need to see a specific replay for that. But what a bad luck for both drivers, because they was betting for the win in the race 1, and now that happened. But is a thing I thought is I do not believe that someone have a chance to overtake in sector 2. Probably the same thing happened. Alessandro was with a way superior car than the other drivers, but since his car was so much better, probably he cannot he do not see how I can talk that he do not have maybe the patience to wait a bit of Tiziano, and maybe because Tiziano using different breaking lines than breaking points than D'Alessandro that happened, and D'Alessandro unfortunately had the bad luck. But I was talking before, the guys from Vale, we can talk that maybe Steels was maybe too aggressive on Riboli also, but Riboli was also trying to defend too aggressive in the position. That thing happened a lot before, but now this is just history because basically the race is ended for Stevens and Alexander.
Yeah, and this is critical as well in terms of not just the Drivers' Championship, but the Constructors' Championship as well. Team Furley just lost out on a whole bunch of points, and Ground Effect, who you can see one of the cars here, Kapamajin has not been able to make it today, but he's also won 2 races and picked up the respective points for that. So in the Constructors' Championship, that's a big blow for Team Fudge. I mean, Magaldi still leads the race, so he's going to pick up some nice points if it stays that way. But Isaac Clark looks like he's going to surely be able to pass Stefano Cavacciuti eventually and pick up some much needed points for his team. And, well, what a development we've had in the last lap or two. This race, if race 1 was all very nice and relaxed, then race 2 has been absolute chaos. And I think Isaac Clark is going to be close enough for a move here. Into turn 3, got a really nice drive out of turn 1. He's closing and closing and closing. He will close enough. Isaac Clark pulls to the inside. Cavacciuti doesn't defend, and Isaac Clark moves into second place. And does he have? Oh no, he doesn't. He's made a mistake in the braking zone, overcooked it slightly. I think he is just far enough in front. I think if he just defends the inside line, he should be okay here. And now he's got 5.5 laps to close 2.7 seconds, which is not an easy feat against someone like Owen Magaldi. But if he's, let's see if he can do it.
It's not the end of the race, so Magaldi has a big danger to lose this win to Clark. Clark looks very quick and with a very stable car in the track also. So let's see how we beat this battle for now. Let's see how quick Clark will start to be, because I do not believe that Cavacciuti have some chance to overtake this position again.
He's sticking with him rather well though.
Yeah, but we can see that he's losing a bit corner by corner, you know. It's because he was also taking time from Magaldi. The 3-second gap was become a 2 second in the last Cavacciuti also. But looks like Clark is a bit more quicker, so maybe we can see Clark in a few laps be near to Owen if he's starting to struggle a little bit with the car.
Yeah, let's see. Magaldi, of course, is notorious for finishing third more frequently than anybody else. I think it was the first 3 races he came third in every single one of them. It's unlikely that will happen today with a 2.4 second gap, so he seems to already come down a little bit in that half a lap. With Isaac Clark, of course, he's also got the pressure from behind. So let's see if Cavacciuti is able to mount any attack. Oh no, he's gone. No, there goes any chance of that. He's gone really wide at the first corner, and yeah, he's already locked. There goes any slipstream or any notorious slipstream he had on Isaac Clark. That gap's now 1 second. It's a battle for 6th place between Peter Vagapov, who we didn't see much of in race 1. He was kind of just outside the points the whole time, but he's got good pace here, and he's catching up to Guillaume Branton. It goes defensive to the inside, as close to the wall as he can, so Vagapov will be forced to the outside line. Let's see, as they pass underneath the Fly Emirates gantry. Into the braking zone, they are equal on the brakes roughly. Branton a bit later on it and doesn't really cover off a switchback, so Vagapov goes all the way around the outside, and Branton again right to the left-hand side of the track, making sure that Vagapov must go to the outside line. He pulls out as late as he can, and can, with this added turning radius, can he do anything? Oh, he's found the gap! He's found the gap. Branton couldn't quite park it fully on the apex. They make contact, and if Vagapov can hold on in this part of the corner, he'll have the inside line now for turn 6, but he's not able to do it. Good defending from Guillaume Branton in the end, around the outside of turn 6, and he holds position.
He will need to have a lot of patience, because trying to overtake Guillaume Branton is not one of the easy things, because Guillaume is very, very aggressive defending. You think that he learns well is to defend from the other guys, but
he's got wide.
Yeah, we can see that Guillaume start to have a few problems with his tires, so maybe the rear tires is already gone, and that's making he have that power slide for now in the corner and also a bit here. But let's see how Guillaume can handle that and continue with the 6th place in the race.
Yeah, Branton really seems to struggle with his tires, and I was just about to mention this before Christian cut to it. Oh, that's a nice bolt of lightning that flashed through my room. Sven Gillard is caught within half a second of Stefano Cavacciuti. Now, let's see if he can. Let's see if he can pull this one off. It would be his third podium in 4 races. His first double podium. Except his first double podium. There would be a very good result for him, continuing his streak and he might well turn out to be an unlikely title contender. Because this will be 3 podiums in the last 4 events. And he's pulled ahead even before they get to the braking zone. Sven Gilhood is up to 3rd place. And Isaac Clarke, we haven't mentioned it, but Isaac Clarke, with 3.5 laps to go, is within 1.4 seconds of Omar Gauji, with Sven Gilhood only 2 seconds behind them. So it's anybody's best guess as to who could win this one. Omar Gauji's going to pick the pace up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, you can maybe Owen starts to struggle a little bit with his tires, so he can have maybe because he forced too much on the start. You can see that on the start, Magami was making a lot of quick laps, fast lap there and there and there. And now
the cool-on strategy, just pull as far ahead as you can and then hold on with burnt-out tires by the end.
Yeah, but looks like in Korea, this strategy maybe is not the best one. Maybe because in the race 1, Mikel proves with that, but now it's time to Clark shows that this is not the best strategy to make in a track like that. But we need to see also if Gilholt can have a chance or not to make something better than a P3 today, because as I talked before, he was more quicker than Cavacciuti. He make the move happen. Yeah, he make the move happen, and he also taking time from Clark in P2. So maybe we can see a battle for 3 cars for the lead.
Yeah, and you could see on this little graphic in the bottom right, you could see the gap the position delta was changing because that was the smallest gap. So you could see it was fluctuating between Gilhoud, Clark, and Clark Magauji. So it's very tight between those guys. They're pretty evenly matched. And it, in the end, comes down to who makes a big mistake first, or who looks after their tyres, who runs out of tyres. Let's see, here's the other extender, Che Hatch, who passed Peter Vagapov. So Vagapov had a moment, and is now behind Che Hatch, but looks in a good position to be able to repass him.
Yeah, Che Hatch is making a very good race today. Maybe it's not the guy that we have an eye on, because maybe people that just make a P6, P7 is not the notorious, but he making a very good race. Again, a race in the points.
Well, he scored a podium and race 2 in Dubai, but he's under pressure here. To the outside, he defends. Can he sweep around and hold his position? Not quite. Runs out of room, and through goes Peter Vagapov into 7th place. Easy as that.
Yeah, but they still make a very good race. He's still on the points. He's still helping Accenza in the championship. This is very positive for the team to have a chance to maybe make a top 3 in the constructors, and let's see if they can make that or not.
Sven Gilhoud, yeah. Christian always cuts to him as soon as I'm about to mention it. As I was about to say, he's close within half a second of Isaac Clarke. He's going for 2nd place. He might well go for the win as well, Has he got enough laps to pass Isaac Clarke? Okay, let's say best case scenario, he passes Isaac Clarke on the run down towards turn 3. He'll have about 1 lap and 1 3/4 laps to close the 2 seconds to Magauji and then pass him. And passing in sector 3, we know, is very difficult.
Well, the gap from Clark and Magauji is starting to be less. But also Gilholt starting to push pressure on the Clark. On Clark could be positive for Magauji. So Magauji, what he most wants now is to Gilholt continue to take this gap from he and Clark near, to both starting to battle for the position, and that make Owen have a sufficient time to go to cross the line in P1 in this race, because he knows that for now he's not the fastest guy in the track. He have 2 guys that's way more quick than him in his back, and he knows that every help now is good for him. If the Gilholt that is starting to battle against Clark, it'll be very positive for him also. So you can see it. Gilholt is very near to Clark. So something happened with James, but he'll be back soon, I hope. Oh my goodness! Clark looks like he lost a bit of the tire in the entry of the corner. So maybe his tires also is a bit gone. And Gilholt, oh my goodness! Clark was very, very aggressive on the defensive against Gilhold. But that's, as I talked before, this is possible for Magaldi because Magaldi knows that he needs all the time possible to cross the line in P1 because he still have one lap to go. And he knows that for more Clark enduring the position against Gilhold, the better for him because this will take. Oh my goodness, Clark going out of the track, but he going back and still in the P2. So maybe the tires is going for Clark, and you can see that the gap is starting also to be less from Magaldi and Clark. Is 1.1, 0.9, but this is possible for Magaldi as we see it. Next lap will be the final lap, and we can see if Magaldi can have a chance to win or not. So now the top 10 is the Magaldi, Clark, Gilhold, Cavaciucci, Pisano, Brenton, Vagapov, Playhatch, Jablonski, and Max Reichel in P10. So both 8-6 on the top 10, very positive for the team. Now is the final lap of the race. I hope James.
Here we go. Yeah. Magaldi's. Oh no! Clark locks up big time. He's locked up massively there, and that is a huge let-off for Magaldi. He can breathe a sigh of relief because Isaac Clark is not going to be pressurising him. Clark's going to be under pressure from Gilhold. He'll close in, but it's going to be Gilhold who's going to be making moves, if any. He pulls to the inside line. He's going for second place. Here, coming down towards turn 3, maybe his chance of the win is gone, but maybe he wants P2. Clark comes in all locked up and almost hits the back of Owen Magaldi. Somehow there's no contact between either of them. Clark is locking his tyres up. He's struggling with his tyres more than I'm struggling with my internet. Gilhold on the outside line now into turn 4. Let's see if he can pull this one off. Clark again, maybe late on the brakes. No, Gillard's going to try it. He sweep round the outside and take second place. On the final lap, they make contact. They make big contact. Gillard's still on the outside line. My word, what a battle this is between these two guys. I'm going to lose my voice in a second. Side by side up the hill towards turn 7 and 8, and Gillard's got the inside line for the kink. And I think... They both make it through, just about. They make more contact as they turn into the corner, but they've made it through. And Owen Magaldi now has a 1 second gap to Sven Gilland, and I think it's going to just be enough. That big lockup for Isaac Clark into the first corner. It created the gap, and surely it's too big to close. Gilland is closing rapidly, though. But has he got enough corners? One more lap, I think, and Gilland will win this race. But I don't think he's got enough corners. He needs a mistake from Magaldi. He needs it now. I don't think it's going to come. Magaldi just has to keep it on the road and he'll win. Here in Korea, what has been a thrilling race 2. It's gone right down to the wire. Gilhold could see the victory in front of him. If this race was 13 laps, we might not have our current winner. But as it is, Owen Magaldi crosses the line to win for Team Furlich in race 2 in Korea. He's led every lap of this race. And, well, what a race it was. A great drive from him. Sven Gilhold from 8th to 2nd just misses out on the win. And Isaac Clark picks up a podium for Ground Effect and keeps them in the hunt for the Constructors' Championship. Stefano Cavaciucci comes home 4th. Luca Tizano, that's a great result for him in 5th place. He might have started on pole and dropped down to 4 places, but that's still a really good result for him. Guillaume Branton held off Peter Vagapov and Che Hatch in the closing stages to take 6th place. Kamil Jablonski in 9th for Ground Effect. That's only 2 points, but who knows? Those 2 points might well pay very dividend. You never know how it's going to pan out by the end. And Max Reichel completes the top 10 and gets both 8-6s into it. The last 9 drivers, Simon Frelich just misses out on points and scores his first pointless event of the season. Dan Hutt will be disappointed with 12th, especially with a good starting point. Josh Down at 13th. Massi Riboli will be disappointed with 14th. He's involved in too many incidents today. Whether they were his fault or not, they've made sure that he's not got any points to show for race 2. Nikos Anastasopoulos in 15th place. 16th is Moritz Kropp, our first DNF, and the other 3 DNFs, Tom Stevens and Michele D'Alessandro, in that unbelievable incident between the 2 of them. And Alessandro Valente, the first DNF of the race, in 19th. And we got some really nice donuts here, or spins off between the guys at the front. And I mean, what a showdown right till the end. And yet, the biggest if and but of this season, if Isaac Clark hadn't locked up into the first corner, taken enough momentum through, could we have a different winner? Because locking up meant that he couldn't really draft Magaldi down the straight.
Yeah, it was
and that would of course have pulled Gilhood along as well.
Yeah, I can talk that Magaldi have all the right to be happy and make all these donuts. because was a very difficult race. And by the way, let's talk with him. Let's talk with the winner of the race two, Owen Magalgi. So here he is, the winner of the race two, Magalgi. Magalgi, first of all, congratulations for the race two. It was a big win for you, a deserved one, in my opinion. And also, talk to us how difficult was all the things today, the quality in Korea, the race one, and especially the race two. The thing that I most want to know is how else do you see that battle for the behind you from Clark and Gilhold? How was to you that thing? Talk everything to us today, Owen.
Well, quality was just. It wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. What did I get? Like P7 or something. So it was all right. And then race one was just. I don't even know what happened in race one. I was just in every possible crash in the top 10 there. And also, I couldn't keep my tyres in check because I was doing about 5% a lap with each spin that I had. And then race two, I feel like I jumped the start almost. It was crazy how close it was. And then just the rest of the race was trying to keep the tyres in check, but I'm not the best at that, so it was absolute hell. And then I saw the battle behind me, and I thought, oh, it's quite funny because they're like almost taking each other out. Because I saw, I think it was Sven who went drifting around like turn 4 or 5. Yeah. And then I saw they kept catching me throughout that last lap. My tyres were absolutely dead, but yeah, it was good to win.
And by the way, the next round is the final round is Abu Dhabi, and because of Capamaggio do not race today, I do not know how is the standings right now, but I believe probably you are leading the championship right now, or maybe are still in the top two in P2 in the championship. I believe you are leading now. If we see the points later. So what do you expect for the final round for try the title for the and also for the teams championship for Team Fellert? What do you expect for the last round?
Well, for the track, I absolutely hate it. It is one of the worst tracks in at least Asia, if not the world. But for the championship, the drivers' championship, honestly, I don't really mind what happens as long as I'm having fun. Unlike today with the tyres, it'll be all right. And I do hope me and Tom can pull something out. Well, actually, I don't think Tom's racing for the last race. So whoever my teammate is, I hope we can do well and bring on the team's championship after leading it for the whole season.
That's right, Owen. And hope you have a lot of fun in the last round. That the race will be fun. For more that you hate the track, but hope you can have all the fun in the last round and all the things going well, and you can make the race the way you want. Congratulations for today, and good luck for the next one, Owen.
Cheers.
So that was the interview with Owen Magalgi. Let's talk with the guy that starting in the P2 in the finishing the P2 in the race two and race one, and in the race two, fortunately have a problem. So Stevens, Tom, congratulations for the P2 in the race one. We want to know how was this round for you? Quality race one, race two, especially the race two. How was battling for the lead against a guy like Michele D'Alessandro, and how was what happened, especially in the race two, that fortunately have the DNF for you and D'Alessandro in the race?
Well, bit of a funny story, really, but I didn't really, I didn't really do much practice for this round. Well, I probably should have done a lot more, but I hopped on just before the race, and I was accidentally using default setup until right at the end of the practice. And then I realised why I was going 2 seconds a lap off. So then in qualifying was my first proper laps on a normal setup. So maybe that could have been better, but I was still pretty happy with P3 and quali. In the race, just managed to get past. And then, yeah, I definitely dropped off at the end though. The tyres, I just couldn't really manage them. Too many mistakes. Good job to D'Alessandro. It was a good fight. Race 2, yeah, it wasn't so good. at the start, I had a decent getaway, but it was just there was too many cars going side by side, and I got caught out of that. And then I was trying to go for a move on Riboli, and then I was just in some contact with him, and then things fell down from there and ended up crashing into someone who was parked on the track, and that was race over.
Yeah, and unfortunately that happened. But now the last round you'll be in Abu Dhabi, and your teammate thought that he hates the track. But we want to know what do you think about Abu Dhabi, and also Sainz Capamadia do not race today. Probably the final round will be very exciting because we have a lot of guys that have made the chance to win the championship, and so how you see how what do you expect for the last round for you and also for Team Farage?
Well, Owen did a great job today, especially in race 2, and we've definitely got a good lead by now, I would say, in the Teams Championship, which is always brilliant. And about next week, for the next round, there is a 90% chance that I won't be able to race. So I think it'll be Armando stepping into the car for next time, and he's a good driver. So there'll be a solid lineup for the final round, and hopefully that Teams Championship will be secured.
Yes, exactly. Well, Tom, thank you for being part of this interview. Hope you race in the last round, but if you do not race, hope you have a lot of fun in GPU. That you have fun racing here, and hope you can race in the future championships also in the league.
Yeah, thank you.
So that was the interview with Tom Stevens. Let's talk with the team boss of Team Farage, the team that is leading the championship for now. Marco Farage, the guy from Slovenia. Marco, thank you for the race today. Your drivers unfortunately don't have a DNF in the race too. Magalgi called Hendra also the win. His team is make a very good race one. That helped a lot the team in the championship. How was your expectation for this round today? And so as a team boss, what do you think? How was today for you in your point of view?
Yeah, I think it was a good. Both races were pretty good. I think we outscored the main rivals in the championship. I think so. Good evening. But I think we have like a 30 points lead or something, which sounds a lot, but both Louis Felipe and Isaac are very quick, so I wouldn't be surprised if the championship goes down to the final race in Abu Dhabi next week.
Yeah, about the final round, your drivers have a chance to win the championship, but also both talk what they more care is about have fun. And by the way, we want to know what do you think about the league and the drive and the races. You can talk properly that you have a lot of fun racing. See your team racing in GPU. What do you think for now?
Yeah, I mean, as long as the drivers have fun, then and the results are there, then yeah, I'm happy. So don't really have to comment anything else.
Yeah, and by the way, we know that Stevens have a chance to not race the final round. So, but what are your expectations? If he do not race, the driver that we're racing in his place, we can see that he can make the job done. What you can talk for us?
Yeah, we'll see who steps in. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I hope. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be a driver who can at least match Tom's pace. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, Marco, thanks for being part of the interview, and Team Farage have a very big chance to win the championship in GPU, but probably still not secured. But let's see what will happen in the final round that will be in Abu Dhabi. Hope the best of luck for you and your boys, and hope we can still see this very big team, good team continue racing in GPU.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there in a week's time.
Yes. So that was the interview with the team boss of Team Farage, Marco Farage. Let's talk with the guy that finished also on the podium in the race too, Isaac Clark. Isaac, hello. And as we see, you make a very good quality today, but unfortunately you have a penalty to pay because of the races before. But even with that, you make a very good job in both races and make points. That was very important for the team, especially because your teammate today, Kapamajan, was not there to race. So talk to us. How was the race for you, and especially the last lap in the race too, that you have that battle against Buholt.
Yeah, it's like the first time, like this whole season, that we probably had the fastest car. Like me and Kapamadian, we put in a lot of work on the set last week before the race got postponed, and right when I feel like we had the fastest car, he wasn't here, and I had to start from pit lane in quali. So the first race was just about getting through, not making any mistakes, and not crashing into people. And the second race, I thought that we had a tire advantage from the first race because I caught Owen even though I started from pit lane. But then the second race, I just couldn't catch that much. I could only catch 3 seconds in the whole race. But then Sven had really good tire wear at the end, and he was catching really, really fast. And I could only defend for so long. We were side by side in the high speed on the last lap, and he just I had my front wing there, but he had the right to turn in.
And by the way, Isaac, we know that the team you race ground effect still have a chance to win the team championship. It will be difficult, but they still have a chance. The next round is Abu Dhabi. What do you think about the track? What are your expectations for the next round?
Well, I was really nervous for the first 2 rounds of this championship. Like, I almost always matched Louis Philippe Capamaggian's pace in practice, and he went on to win almost every race, and I just ended up making personal mistakes, and this round I just made less mistakes. You know, I think I could have fought Michelle in the feature race. I could have gotten 3/10 in my quali lap, and I probably could have won the race, and maybe the tires would have been a detail or something. I'm not sure how it would have been, but I had a lot of issues with front locking at this track. So, you know, next round, probably going to be, just depends on how good the setup is. Really, it just depends on how much pace we have. You know, I could easily see us having the fastest car again and doing a 1-2. You know, Camille got really unfortunate. He had a double drive-through in the first race when he just didn't even cut the track at all. And so, yeah, I mean, next race is going to be the chance for the team's championship and possibly even the drivers. I don't even know if I'm mathematically out of it or not, but I'm still going to go for it.
Yeah, just a last question before we stop with you. I talked in the broadcast, but when I noticed that you're always making very good qualities, showing a decent race pace. But usually the things that more harm you in the race is the starting. You know why this happened? Is something because of the wheel or the joypad use or because of the setup? Why we can see Isaac Clark have some issues during the start of the race that making you lose some positions and maybe put you in situations that is not the best and that make you lost a lot of good points.
Nerves, like race 2 in Dubai, I just turned out and missed the corner for no reason at all. Like, that's completely on me. So it's nothing to do with the car or anything like that. It's or my equipment. It's literally just me. But I didn't have to deal with that in the first race, and at least I didn't lose any positions in race 2 for like the first time this whole season on the first lap. So that's good because, you know, I've always had pace to be at the front, like at least on the front row every single round. I've just made mistakes in quali and then mistakes on the first lap, and right when I get used and adjusted in the race, I'm so far back that it's impossible to come back to the front. So it was good that I finally had to, you know, be the one on the front, and it was weird being chased down because usually, you know, I saved my tires at the beginning and have that at the end, but I was just full push the whole race, so we got caught. So yeah.
Okay, Isaac. Well, good luck for the next round and the final round in GPU. Hope you and Kapamayan be very calm and do not make the pressure, the nervous win, and that the next round be fun for the ground effect.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So that was the interview with Clark. Let's talk with the last guy today. Driver for Valley, he made a top 10 today in the race 2. Peter Vagapov. Hello, Peter. And Today you raced for Valley. I believe that was the first race you did in the season. I do not remember now exactly. So talk for us. How was the all the things for the preparation for the race, the quality, the race one, race two. What do you expect, and how was the things in your point of view?
Hello everyone. Yeah, that was my first race for Vale as a reserve driver, and yeah, it was quite fun. Let's start from qualifying. Me and Massimiliano Ribolli, my teammate, we decided to give each other a slipstream in the quali, and I gave him a slipstream, but and he I think qualified before, and when his turn started, when he decided to give me slipstream, he just braked a little bit earlier, and I'm late, and I nearly crashed into him on the qualifying lap. So I finished P13. I qualified, I mean, and yeah, the race. On the start of the first race, it was kind of frustrating because I was braking early, and the guy in front of me, I don't remember who it is, was braking much earlier than me. So I just crashed into him. But I was on the top 10, I think, on the first race all the time, like P9, P10. But yeah, the tires, the front tires, they were like struggling too much in the third sector, so I had to save a lot. But yeah, unfortunately, P11, I did a lot of mistakes, I think too much. But on the second race, I got very lucky that drivers crashed, and I gained as much position as possible. So it was quite fun at the second race. I'm really happy for the team, and scoring a lot of points, and Messi finishing P4 on the first race. It's really a good day today, I think.
By the way, Peter, next round will be Abu Dhabi. Since you are a reserve driver, will you race the next round or the primary?
Unfortunately not. I'm a reserve driver for one race, but yeah, I will race 100%. So yeah.
Okay, so well, Peter, I hope you. By the way, the for especially I know that the race two was very difficult for you. You was involved in a lot of things because the middle of the pack is always have a lot of people try to overtake each other. So, but even with that, how fun was to you making this race in GPU today?
I mean, it was quite fun, but there is no DRS, unfortunately, so it was a little bit tough compared to like F1, and yeah, it was like battling side by side, trying to trust the rivals, and yeah, I can say that most of the drivers are quite aggressive, and I can say to myself I was too optimistic in some movements. But yeah, I try my best to be clean. But other drivers, they need to come down a little bit. So it's not like end of the world when you are defending the position. But I can say that one of the cleanest drivers is Che Hatch and Massimiliano Ripoli. So Messi, my teammate. So the two drivers that gave enough space for me, and I was battling with them quite fun. Yeah, and enjoyed it. But yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of penalties after this round. So, yeah, and first of all, I need to improve my overtaking. First of all, myself, then the others. So, yeah.
Well, by the way, you make a lot of good overtaking anyway. But well, Peter, good luck for the next round if you find a team to race or not. If you go to race or not. If not, hope you can see you in the future seasons in GPU. And the best of luck for you in this year.
Okay, thank you.
So that was the interviews today, guys. So last round, the final round, will be in Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi. Hope this final round will be very exciting because we have a lot of guys that can have a chance to win the championship. Also, we have a battle for the teams championship between Team Ferrucci and Ground Effect. That will be very interesting. Team Ferrucci was making a lot of important points, so maybe the chance for Ground Effect to be very low, but we never can underestimate things that can happen in a race. But this we know just in a few weeks. For now, that was what happened in the race 1 and 2 in Korea. I thanks Christian McCarthy for help us in the camera and also a bit in the commentaries. Also James Smith for the broadcast as always. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun look this race and also have a lot of fun for the next round. You'll be in Yas Marina. And guys, see you soon, guys, for the final round in a few weeks. Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi.